More breaking news here on First Take. According to Shams Charania, two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo is ready for a new home at the February 5th NBA trade deadline or in the offseason as several rival teams make aggressive offers to the Milwaukee Bucks for him. And the franchise now is starting to listen, league sources tell ESPN. Now, this is something we've been discussing the last couple of days. Giannis Antetokounmpo is out right now with a calf strain, is second on the same leg so far this year. Clearly seems unhappy there in Milwaukee, but now it sounds like, according to Shams, he has either told the Milwaukee Bucks that or the Milwaukee Bucks are starting to listen. What is your reaction?
Well, it's not a surprise. Giannis wants out. I mean, he basically indicated that in the offseason, and then you take into account he's booing the fans back in Milwaukee. The love affair is over. There should be an extreme level of appreciation for the greatness that he's put on display and the fact that he delivered the championship to the franchise when they beat the Phoenix Suns a few years back. We understand that. But they've been to the postseason. I mean, they've lost 9 of their last 10 postseason series. They've done close to nothing. And when you look at the roster that's evolved around him, that is not a championship roster. And for him to be as great as he is, giving you 28 and 12 a night, shooting 65% from the field, a career-high 39% from three-point range. For him to be on a team this mediocre, you have to make a move. And if you're the Bucks, you got to be smart. You got to be willing to move him. Because guess what? You got to get equitable compensation for him. You can't keep him around and all you're doing is losing and going home in the first round, if you even make the damn playoffs. So it's a wise decision for them to want him to want to move on from him. It's definitely wise for him to move on. Now you got to look at the teams. It's a Houston. It's an OKC because of the assets they have available. It's a Miami who really, really wants him. It's a New York Knicks who supposedly is where he wants to go, but they don't have the necessary assets to get him. So the only way he can end up in New York is if he demands to be a Knick, which I'm not sure he'll do. All of those things come into play, doggy, but in the end, the bottom line is one of the top 5 players on the planet is looking to move on, and it's official now because Shams is reporting it. And damn it, it's about time. As far as I'm concerned, it took him too damn long. He should have been this outspoken about it
I hate
from the summertime.
Yeah, I hate it, Steve. I mean, listen, I understand Giannis. He won a championship. He scores 50 points in the Game 6 against Phoenix, and he can do anything he wants. I understand that, but I hate it. I mean, and not only that, I'll say the other thing. Be careful what you wish for. The NBA is littered. Harden, Kawhi Leonard, it's Kyrie Irving. It's littered with players who, Paul George, guys who want to go somewhere else because they can't win where they are, and they end up in a bad situation. I mean, so there's no Durant, who has wanted to go everywhere outside of going to go. He wanted to go to the Nets. He wanted to go to Phoenix. He wanted to go to Houston. It's littered with teams or players who decide they want to be somewhere else for greener pastures. Lillard's another one. He goes to Milwaukee, gets hurt. That doesn't work out. So be careful what you wish for. And I know everybody in New York is going to say Knicks. If you're Milwaukee, you can't trade him to the Knicks. Why, for Karl Anthony Towns? There's no way you'd make that trade. If you're the Bucks, you got to trade him to a team that is going to help you build for the future. You are not winning a championship, but the team is going to give you for Giannis on their existing roster. You got to do this for draft picks, a lot of draft picks, and a young superstar, a la Oklahoma City getting SGA in the Leonard trade. Or in the Paul George trade, I apologize. That's the sort of move you have to make if you're Milwaukee. To trade Giannis to get 4 or 5 veterans so you can win 42 games is a disaster. If you're going to trade him, rebuild it the way Presti rebuilt it in Oklahoma City. Get picks, young players, and build 5 years from now for a better day. But I don't like it, Steve. And I understand Giannis has every right. To me, a player who says, I want to go somewhere else, I don't know. Leaving that great market who's won championships, I have to admit I don't particularly
By the way, a couple of things.
Myself.
Number one, I meant 1-9 in their last 10 postseason games. That's what happens with Giannis. That's number one. Let me get that out of the way, even though they only won 1 playoff series in the last few years. Number 2, let me say this. Doggy, you may not like it, but I don't have a problem with it at all, even if he doesn't end up with my Knicks. And, of course, you're right. You got to get draft picks or whatever. But remember, the Phoenix Suns moved Kevin Durant to Houston, and they had a boatload of second-round picks to get from Houston, along with the likes of Dillon Brooks, Jalen Green, that kind of thing. But this is what I would like you to remember about Giannis. This is not somebody that's chasing a championship. He already captured one. This is about a championship, career, essentially. He wins a championship. They're competing for championships for the most part, and then all of a sudden they've nosedived over the last few years, and the situation has become untenable. So it's an entirely different situation. If he had never won anything, Doggy, and he was chasing championships because he had never captured one before, that would be totally different. But there's nothing with you spending a decade in a particular city where you've been one of the top 5 players on the planet and you've delivered the championship, and you just deciding a few years later it's time to move on.
So the Bucks currently are 3-12 without Giannis. Hard to move forward like that. Let's bring in Shams Charania, who just reported this news to us. So it sounds like, Shams, and maybe you could clarify for us, that the Bucks are more interested now than they have ever been in trading Giannis Antetokounmpo. What more can you add?
Guys, this has been the culmination of 9 months of conversations. You think about the back and forth that Giannis, his agent Alex Saratzis, and the Bucks have had since May at the draft combine, when he's been exploring what his best fit is. Because like Stephen A. just said, he has made it clear publicly, privately, he wants to compete for a second championship. And so he was able to recommit to this team. Bucks ownership, John Horst, Doc Rivers, they sold Giannis Antetokounmpo this season on winning at a high level, trying to compete for a championship in the Eastern Conference. That obviously right now hasn't happened. This is a Bucks team that is now 12th in the Eastern Conference. They're 9 games under 500. They've obviously nosedived over the last several weeks, and they're positioning for a lottery spot this second half of this NBA season. And so Giannis Antetokounmpo is looking around now, and he has made it clear to them in private conversations, as much as he loves Milwaukee, loves the organization, loves the franchise, he is ready to move to a new team potentially at the deadline or in the offseason. And the Bucks as well have had to reevaluate where they're at, what their direction is moving forward. And so I'm told there's already been several aggressive offers made to the Bucks. You have offers with former All-Star players, with multiple draft picks. That's all stuff that the Bucks are sifting through this week and next week. But over the next now we're 8 days away from the trade deadline, have started listening to offers, engaging to an extent. They made it clear to teams what their threshold is as far as blue chip young talent and draft compensation. But this is 9 months in the making, several years in the making for Giannis Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee.
We only got a minute left, so real quick.
Dub Nation, I don't even know how to properly start this, because what we're hearing right now about Giannis is the kind of thing that changes the entire emotional direction of a franchise overnight. For years, we've talked about one last real move for Steph Curry, one final swing where the Warriors stop playing small, stop patching holes, and actually go all in on a true generational superstar. And now suddenly, this isn't just fantasy anymore. This isn't just Twitter dreams or 2K trades. This is Shams reporting that Giannis is open to a new home, the Bucks are listening, and the league is making aggressive offers. That's real. That's not noise. That's the kind of situation where front offices pick up the phone and everything you thought was impossible becomes negotiable. And let's be honest for a second, emotionally, as Warriors fans, we've watched Steph carry this franchise on his back for over a decade. 4 championships, 6 finals, endless moments of magic. But we've also watched the roster slowly lose athleticism, size, and physical dominance. We've tried to win with movement, IQ, and experience, but the league has changed. It's longer, stronger, faster. You can't just outshoot everyone forever. At some point, you need a monster. You need a force of nature. You need someone who bends the game just by stepping on the floor. And Giannis is exactly that. This isn't about, is Giannis better than X or Y? This is about the fact that he's still one of the 5 most dominant players on the planet, a 2-time MVP, a finals MVP, a guy who gives you 28 and 12 like it's nothing while shooting absurd efficiency and wrecking entire defensive schemes by himself. You don't guard Giannis, you survive Giannis. You don't stop him, you pray he misses. And now imagine that kind of pressure playing next to Steph Curry. That's not just talent stacking, that's basketball chaos for the rest of the league. Because think about the geometry of that. Steph already forces defenses to pick their poison at half court. Now you add Giannis attacking downhill with space. You can't load the paint because Steph will kill you. You can't trap Steph because Giannis is coming full speed in a 4-on-3. You can't switch everything because Giannis will bury guards and Steph will roast bigs. There is no clean answer. There is no comfortable scheme. Every possession becomes stress. And people talk about spacing issues like it's a deal breaker. But let's be real. Giannis has played in far worse offensive environments than what Golden State offers. He's played with lineups where defenders camped in the paint permanently. With Steph, even average shooters suddenly become dangerous because the defense is already broken before the play starts. Draymond doesn't need to score, he just needs to think. And Giannis doesn't need to shoot threes, he just needs a runway. This isn't a bad fit, this is a terrifying fit if built correctly. The bigger picture is timing. Steph is 37. He's still elite, still all-NBA level, still capable of carrying playoff series. But time is not on anyone's side. You don't waste seasons waiting for perfect development anymore. Jimmy Butler's injury already forced the Warriors to confront reality. The wait-and-see era is over. This is the phase where you either push all your chips to the center or you accept a slow fade into irrelevance. And Golden State has never been a franchise that chooses the quiet fade. That's why Giannis makes so much emotional sense for this organization. Not just basketball sense, but symbolic sense. It's the ultimate statement. Steph deserves one more real shot. Not a patch, not a role player, not a maybe, a real superstar. The kind that reshapes playoff series, changes Vegas odds, and makes every contender nervous. And look at the league context. The Bucks are struggling. They're under 500. They're losing. Giannis is frustrated. He's dealing with injuries. The asset cupboard in Milwaukee is empty. They've gone all in year after year, and now they're stuck. That's exactly the type of environment where a franchise finally accepts the inevitable and starts listening. Not because they want to, but because the math forces them to. Meanwhile, Golden State has what rebuilding teams crave: future uncertainty. Picks that could be very valuable once Steph and Draymond age out. Young players with upside. Contracts that can match salary. From the Bucks' perspective, shorting the Warriors' future might actually be the smartest possible play. And from the Warriors' perspective, sacrificing the future to maximize the present is literally the entire philosophy of this dynasty. Because let's be honest, what is the future you're protecting? A maybe, a hope, a chance at developing the next star. Or you can trade that for a guaranteed top 5 player in the world right now while your greatest player of all time is still good enough to compete. That's not reckless, that's logical. And emotionally, this is the kind of move that would reignite the entire fan base overnight. Not just optimism, but belief. The kind where every game feels important again, where national media shifts from "Are the Warriors done?" to "How do you stop them?" Where free agents suddenly look at the Bay again as a destination, not a museum of past greatness. This wouldn't just be a trade, it would be a narrative reset. It would be Steph and Giannis versus the world. Old school dynasty mentality mixed with modern physical dominance. The ultimate last chapter for one of the greatest runs in sports history. So yeah, is it risky? Of course. Is it expensive? Definitely. Would it mortgage the future? Absolutely. But dynasties are not built by playing it safe. They're built by bold decisions at uncomfortable moments. And right now, everything about this moment feels uncomfortable, urgent, and historic. If there is even a real chance that Giannis can be paired with Steph Curry, the Warriors have a responsibility to explore it. Not just to win, but to honor the era. To squeeze every last drop out of a once-in-a-lifetime player before the clock finally runs out. And now I want to know from you, Dub Nation. Be honest. If the price is massive, if the future is gone, if it's truly all in, would you do it? Would you trade tomorrow for one more real shot at immortality? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments, Giannis to the Warriors, is it crazy or is it destiny?